You have a lot of books that you have to carry? Yes? So, you get to carry those books and a device. Consider that when you're making this recommendation. Do you want a larger screen, which also means one more thing in your arms, or a smaller screen? Question?
What about the Samsung Galaxy tabs?
Yeah.
Those images with the smaller versions that are like about this big?
Yep. They make like a 7-inch tablet. Yep, there's a bunch of those that are out there. The big question is, when you get into any of the tablets, whether it's an iPad tablet or an Android tablet, a lot of people think it's about the apps. Okay? And it kind of is in that world. However, as your teachers start using the apps, they might say, well, we don't need that many apps. And so maybe we can go to a Samsung Galaxy, a smaller tablet. All right? So there's all sorts of different things out there. The big question will be, from you guys and for your teachers, what stuff do we want to do on that? Is it going to be app-based, or is it going to be web-based? And so if it's app-based, then we do have to look at, is it Android or is it iOS, Apple? If it's web-based, we've got a bunch of different tools to select there. And so when you are thinking about these devices, share with your teachers, share with Mr. Ely. What are the educational, not the game apps, okay? Like, what was the game that you wanted?
Me?
Yeah. Safari.
No, that was him.
Or
Ski Safari.
Ski Safari. Don't say to Mr. Ely, we want Ski Safari on our devices. But think of what video creation apps that you guys already talked about, okay? Think about maybe the type of keyboarding that you have. You guys are already using all those devices. So let him know, this is a good app. This would be helpful to have on my device, okay? Couple questions, yep.
Or like computers, you have like Microsoft for typing and like Microsoft or Google Docs. What would you have for like iOS?
Yeah, you can still have Google Docs on iOS devices. Yeah, and there are other programs. So on Apple, you can load Pages, which is like Microsoft Word. But the nice thing with Google Docs is you can get it on any different device. So many of the different programs or websites, you can get them on pretty much every different device. Good question. Yep.
One thing that I really wish was better on iPad and like iPod and iPhones were like, they need to make the battery a lot last a lot longer.
How long do you think you need?
Well, I don't know, but like, because my phone seems to like run out. Like, I mean, it's okay for a little while, but like, on some days it feels like it's really short, and on some days it feels long. But just like, it should make it just like a little bit longer than what they do now, because it like seems like it runs out a lot.
That's a great point. And you know what? Most of the new either tablets, laptops, or Chromebooks, you're going to get about 6 to 8 hours on those devices. And that's of constantly using them. So my iPad, as long as I charge it up the night before, it usually lasts me the whole day. Now, I might have to go in there, and I might have to turn off applications or turn off programs that I'm running. And so that's going to be part of your job, is if your battery is running low. The big question is, if you charge it up the night before, you might have to turn those things on and off. Okay? Yes. Yep. Thank you for keeping me. Yep. I do have to get up to high school and work with a couple teachers up there. But, last questions, concerns. Yes.
I'm just worried about how well that the device will be able to keep up with the everyday pace of the school and everything.
What do you mean by it? Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Well, let's say you're in English class and you're trying to use Microsoft Word 2010 and it's not responding. That could be a problem for you.
Yeah. And so you really have to think about, what are we using? Are they web-based tools? Are they program, or are they app-specific, right? And I'll just let you know, and your teachers are gonna experience this too, things are gonna change. Things are gonna change from right now to when you're a senior in high school. It's gonna look completely different. But that's where I'm here to help your teachers, I'm here to help you guys. We're all here to help each other to say, you know what? We're gonna have to rethink whether it's just Microsoft Word that we're using, or what's the power in using Google Docs, right? And why is one maybe better than the other? Again, there's no right tool for the right job. Okay? Last two things, yes.
What would we do with the device if it got a virus?
Good question. They'd probably have to wipe everything off, okay? And you'd have to start it all over. And so you're gonna have to learn how to save different things, whether it's on a flash drive, or if it's stored under Google, if it's stored into the cloud. And so that way, you've got all that stuff if it does go with stuff, all right? And maybe you're, hopefully you already do that right now. And if you store your pictures, back up your music or anything like that, you should. You should, yep, you should load it to Spotify, or you should load it into Apple's photo stream, okay? Back up your photos, back up all of your information. Yes?
Oh, okay, I got two quick things. One is, I think that on the iPads, they should make a flash drive, so just in case like there was a virus, that you could plug the flash drive in and like take it away, so that way it would be easier, just like, instead of having to plug it into the TV and get on iTunes and all that and stuff. But then my second thing is, do you know anything about the iPhone, or the new iPhone 6? Is there anything new about it, like better than?
Yeah, there's a larger screen, but for the most part, the controls are still very similar. The new operating system, yep.
Well, the power off button is on the side.
Yeah, the power off button is on the side, not on the top, right? But there's no other peripherals. The new operating system is a little bit different, and so there are better ways to back up your information. There's also nicer ways of using and controlling your battery use, and so that will really change things around. But the battery use on a lot of devices is different. The keyboards are different, and so really recommend, think about how you're using the keyboards right now, whether it's for your personal use or for school use, and make that recommendation on, we'd like a physical keyboard or we'd like a virtual keyboard. As far as durability, all different devices have different durability features, okay? It's really going to be up to you to make sure that you are not purposely dropping the devices, throwing them like frisbees. I've seen that, okay? I've seen kids throwing devices in hallways, but it's going to be up to you. And I know that you guys are good kids, all right? But any device that you're going to get, it's going to be very useful for you. Does that mean that it's the only device for you to use? If the school gives you an iPad, or if they give you a Chromebook, does that mean that you can only use that device? No. You'll still have your devices at home. Be just thinking, at home, tonight, how could you use those devices at home? What are the limitations on that, okay? And when devices do come in, it's going to be up to you and your teachers to use them properly, to treat them respectfully, but more importantly, to use them not as gaming devices, but to really think about, how do I want to communicate with my teachers, my peers? How do I want to collaborate with my peers and experts and famous people around the world? How do I want to use those devices to create and produce really cool things so that not only my teachers see it, but anyone around the world, my grandparents, anybody in other countries can see that and can comment, okay? Because that's going to be my challenge for your teachers, and they're going to be challenging you. And the way that you're going to learn, it is going to be more interactive. You will have more fun with it. You will be able to do it at your own pace, okay? It's just going to take time for your teachers and for you, all right? I appreciate you letting me come in. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions. Yes? Was that helpful? A good time? Okay. Mrs. Brewer, Mr. Brown, any questions that you had at all? No?
Let's give Mr. Cliff a round of applause. Thank you.